Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, two-run shot to right. From the Woodbury Bowl, just off of one of the most famous downtown sections in all of South Jersey, we welcome you to our first of 4 with the Thundering Herd this fall. As from Woodbury, it's a battle in the Diamond Division between the Woodstown Wolverines and the Woodbury Thundering Herd. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Damian Waiters on the call this morning for Saturday morning Diamond Division football from the Woodbury Bowl. It's our first of 4 with Woodbury this year, and Woodbury in their first 3 weeks of the season still searching for their first win. Picked up a Week 0 loss to Brick Township and then some losses along the way to Haddonfield and Salem. Salem, a team that they beat last year, 25-0. They lost 31-8 last week, looking to turn 0-3 into 1-4.
Yeah, Dan, I mean, for both of these Group 1, South Jersey Group 1 programs, this is kind of unprecedented territory. You're used to a lot of Group 1 success, even Woodstown, even somehow, some way, if you're not in that Elmer, if you're not in that Elmer spot, or if you're not in that Elmer location, you don't know that Woodstown one of the top Group 1 teams to come out. But they have had great success these past couple of years. Obviously, they took the last 3 over Woodbury, who, like you said, still searching for their first win. I'm happy to see some football today. This is going to be some great football. Woodbury usually always a very hungry football team, but obviously with their record usually does show that. But today, them being 0-3, they're going to be even hungry.
Yeah, it felt a little bit out of character that they got shut out 41-0 by Haddonfield 2 weeks ago, and now they come into this game again in Week 4, Week 3 of the season, still searching for their first win. Both teams hurling out new quarterbacks this year. Frank Horst for the Wolverines with just over 150 passing yards to his name across his first 2 games, which Woodstown is 1-2 on the season after a win versus Pittman, but then back-to-back losses to Delsea and Shalleck. First time Woodstown lost versus Shalleck since 2010. Meanwhile, for Woodbury, they're bringing out Nico Jimenez. He replaces Tim Holmes at QB. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a great battle. We'll be right back. We've got the national anthem and kickoff, much more coming here from the Woodbury Bowl in Woodbury City. We'll be right back. Back here from Woodbury. They'll get ready to send this one away. Woodstown to receive. Woodbury to kick in front of a lively Saturday morning crowd. It's our first of 4 with the Herd this year. For those unaware, we had all of their home games last year. It's good to be back again with Athletic Director Anthony Browning, the fantastic group of Woodbury coaches and staff and administrators here. It's one of our favorite schools to go to in South Jersey. Again, just a quick hop down the road off of Broad Street, the Inspira Hospital in the background. We're going to get ready to go. We'll get started with Woodbury's number 14, Mark Martin, getting ready to send this one away.
Mark Martin Jr.
48 minutes of WJFL Diamond football here from the Woodbury Bowl Saturday morning. And our first of 4 games with the Herd this year. It's sent away. We are underway. It's returned by Cole Ware out to the left side, and he will get a spin move, and he will get tackled at the 30-yard line. I would assume some relation to Lee Ware, one of the most famous baseball coaches in Woodstown and all of South Jersey history, as we'll introduce their freshman quarterback, Frank Hurst, who will be getting his 3rd career start today. We'll take a look at his player profile for the Wolverines. He comes into this one with 11 for 27, 148 passing yards, and up to this point in the campaign, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Last week versus Delsey in a 35-7 loss. No touchdowns, 1 interception, and 71 passing yards. And we have a false start prior to the first snap. So the Wolverines will get backed up to 1st and 15 before we get a play. As we said, Hurst, obviously it's not easy when you have a quarterback battle coming out of camp, but for a freshman to win that job, that's going to be huge for this program and for the second-year head coach, Frank Trouts.
Absolutely. The potential for a 4-year starter is always very, very important at the QB position for these Group 1 programs. A
big sack or a big handoff that time that ends up getting snuffed out prior to the line of scrimmage by Caleb Curry. And already a long drive to start for Woodstown will get even worse. They're going to be back to the 24, and it'll be 2nd and 16 here. But, yeah, I mean, the only 4-year starter we've seen this year is Robbie McDade out of Pennsville, and he's definitely a different archetype of quarterback that has that little bit of a smaller stature, able to be versatile, able to play both sides of the ball. Hurts coming into this one, 6'4", 215. I don't think I knew any freshmen in high school that were 6'4". I mean, that's incredible, but he is he's looking very much grown out there on the offense as Cole Ware and number 3, Mason Middlemass, moving in motion to the left side. 2 receivers on each for the Wolverines. From the shotgun, fake handoff. It was a keeper that ends up being taken down. Hurst with another host of Woodbury Thundering Herd coming in that time. That was number 75, Mustafa Moody, that came in on that one, and it is now 3rd and very long, all the way back to the 19-yard line. That's now going to set up 2nd and 20, or now 3rd and 21.
Woodbury knows what this Woodstown offense wants to establish early on in this game, and that's the run. The run is going to get established, especially in their own half, trying to get out their own half. They're not really looking to throw the ball unless they have to. And 3rd and long, you might.
Yeah, like we said, Hurst with no more than 80 passing yards per game in his first 2 starts this year.
Wow.
As a handoff, left side. Going for the run on 3rd and 21. Woodstown looks like they give themselves up here, and they'll send this one away for a punt. This will be sent away by number Hurst is going to go back to punt. This is just like on Thursday night, Anthony Gaetano.
QB kicker.
QB kicker. That's what he's listed as on the roster for the 6'4" freshman. I guess with a Group 1 program, I mean, we talk about it all the time that in Group 1, you are almost required to be a versatile player.
Yes.
He takes it on a bounce, and this one is going to get punted away. It's going to land at the 45, roll across midfield, and Woodstown will pick this one up at the 42, which is where Woodbury and their crew will start their afternoon, or I guess still in the morning here. It's 11:07 in Woodbury. We'll take a look at their new starting quarterback today, Nico Jimenez, number 18. On NJ.com, he's listed as a wide receiver and defensive back, but for our intents and purposes, he's being the starting quarterback for the Thundering Herd today. He's got 18 for 37, 222 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, and has thrown for over 100 yards in his first game of the year versus Brick Township. Has not done yet since. Woodbury's been held to 8 points in their last 2 weeks, a 41-0 shutout at Haddonfield, and then a 31-8 loss at Salem. High snap. Jimenez with a handoff that doesn't get too far that time. That's going to get over to, I think that was Dale Thomas who got the run that time. When a Woodstown player on the near sideline is down, he's struggling to get up, and they're going to call time here to attend to him. He's all the way over at the Woodbury sideline. That's I think that's number 65, Brent Reardon, the junior. So
yeah, it looks like
yeah, they'll attend to him. Again, just a simple run that time by Woodbury, and you don't know how this game's going to go so far. I mean, Woodstown won this game by 12 points last year, and in fact, Woodstown has won the last 3 matchups in a row. The last time Woodbury won this head-to-head matchup was when Woodbury won the Group 1 state championship, the first ever New Jersey state championship in 2022. They won that game 28-6, but the last 3 times they've played, the Wolverines have come ahead with the win, but it's been close. 2023 was 27-21, and then they faced off again in the playoffs. Woodstown won 21-14, and then around this time last year, in fact, 1 year ago to the day last year, it was 28-16, Woodstown with the win. So again, when you have both teams coming in with a new quarterback, it can be a little bit different, and I think it's going to take, again, with these 2 teams having new QBs at the helm, having new offensive pieces at the helm, they're going to need a little bit of extra time to develop the offense.
That they're definitely going to need. You're going to see them hit their stride around midseason. You know, it's going to take some time. Like you said, 2 new QBs. They both look, especially Woodstown. Woodstown QB, believe that was Hurst.
Yeah, Frank Hurst, a freshman.
Yeah, Frank Hurst, a freshman. I mean, 6'4", 215 as a freshman. That's just great size. And it's just immaculate size. When you talk about, you know, like the potential to be a 4-year starter for that Woodstown Wolverine program, it's amazing.
I'll tell you this, Woodstown was a top 6 seed in basketball last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets recruited for that, too.
Oh, absolutely.
He would be a demon in Salem County. But we talk about, I mean, listen, I've seen so many Woodstown athletes that are just, not putting this in the wrong terms possible, but they are just freaks of nature. Like, they are incredible athletes. I talk about Rocco String. He was a 6'5" wrestler and baseball player who was one of the best hitters I saw in a long time. Woodstown and Shalleck, something about those farmland schools, they bring up a lot of raw talent and a lot of big gentlemen as well. Moving to the left this time, Eli Young. High snap. Airmails Jimenez. He will hang on to it. He's back at his own 20. He's in trouble. He will stay on his feet. And now he's going to get some room. He's got some blocks. He's over at midfield, and after an airmailed snap, he's got a first down across the 30. He turned 0 into 100 just like that, and Nico Jimenez brings the Woodbury crowd to life with a huge, huge recovery. And the Wolverines make a big mistake. They couldn't get enough blockers where they could find them. And Woodbury is now deep in opposing territory at the 30.
That was just a great run to be able to get back there, almost Deshaun Jackson-like, you know,
Yeah.
Let the ball bounce. Look at where your holes are opening up. Look at who's coming, who's going, and just find the lane and hit the hole. I mean, that was a great time, just turning nothing into something there for that Woodbury offense. And
up at the 33, another high snap. Jimenez had to grab it with one hand, and now here goes another runner, number 5. Samir Pettit gets himself into the red zone for a gain of 17. But the whistles are flying, and we have a flag on the play. This one might be coming back, and it will. This is going to be a hold on Woodbury. Well, that momentum couldn't last for too long, and Woodbury, again, that would have been a 17-yard gain. They'll get knocked back, again, 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Assuming this is pretty early in the play, they're going to put this back at the 39, and it'll be, first and 15-ish. First down markers up at the 23. And just 4 minutes into this game, I feel like every time we go to Woodbury, there's some kind of highlight reel. And I feel like that muffed snap to Nico Jimenez being able to recover and get a first down out of that, truly impressive stuff. Jimenez
Absolutely
out
impressive.
to the right side. It is incomplete. Not something. Oh, and a late flag comes in that time. That pass was completed to Omar Johnson, who is wearing number 99. You usually don't see that out of a wide receiver, but he normally wears number 14 on the road.
Wow.
They had an equipment issue, and he had to switch jerseys. Several players had to switch jerseys for the home team games. So that wide receiver is wearing number 99.
I did not see that. I thought that was an 89 at first, damn.
No,
wow.
they don't have a number higher than 78 on the roster. So at least not on the varsity level. I mean, I see an 81 down there, but I don't know if he's going to touch the field. See what the penalty is. They will wave off the flag. It was a flag that came in relatively late, and the referees discussed it. So again, it was probably a discussion of whether or not to call a personal foul. Again, it's something sometimes that we can't see. You know, if it's a late hit, sure, we can see it, we can replay it. But sometimes if it's the magic word on the field, or sometimes the magic words said, sometimes they'll also call a penalty for that. But in this case, we don't have microphones on the field, and probably a good thing. Second and 15. Second and about 15 from the 39. First down mark is up at the 23. That one's a high pass, but it is caught. That was very difficult because it looked like that pass was intended for Eli Young, but then the wide receiver Thomas Lewis came in to make the play. I don't know who was the intended receiver, but they got it done, and they got it up to around the 26-yard line.
Yeah, Jimenez just snapped that ball and instantly looked to his left and just let it go. And that the receiver kind of looked like, oh, snap, this one's high. Is this one for me? But no, you got a receiver behind you. You know, Jimenez knew it the whole time. He knows where his receivers are, and he's going to get it to him.
Yeah, that's why he's got over 200 passing yards in his first three games this year, even without a win to his belt. As, again, he'll have to fill in the shoes of Tim Holmes, that big quarterback who, ended up graduating last year. They didn't get any gain on that rush. Handed off to Pettit that time.
Tim Holmes, West Effort. Transferred to West Effort.
Oh, he transferred to West Effort.
Yeah.
They're doing quite well for themselves,
Absolutely.
4-0 this year. We haven't covered a West Effort game, but we will on October 14th, so we'll see him then. I was going to say, I thought he was a class of 26 guy.
Yeah.
But transferred to West Effort with the head coach, John Emmel. There's another botched snap on 4th and 3. And now barreling through on the direct snap, that time being wrestled to the ground, Dale Thomas. A Woodstown defender, Aiden Tallane, came up with the ball, but that was after the whistle. It'll be a first down Woodbury, and they will be inside the red zone solidly at their opposing 15.
Doing a beautiful job establishing the run game here for Woodbury.
It's a very nice 70 degrees and sunny here from Woodbury today. It'll just get chillier as the weeks go on, but you can see that receiver again lined up number 99 on the left side as the rush. And another late flag comes in this time. They're calling a lot of flags after the whistle, or at least at the tail end of the play. This one came in from the backfield. Let's see what the call is. Wow, that ref is very clear. Did you hear that in your headset?
Yes, I did.
Personal foul face mask. I mean, he is using those pipes.
Coming right at you.
We don't even need to mic up the refs today. He's got that karaoke practice.
Yes, he does. Clear and direct, Dan. Clear and direct.
The only school that I know that mics up the refs is Gateway. We'll be seeing them at Woodbury on October the 3rd. In the Gateway-Woodbury rivalry, a former mainstay of Thanksgiving footballs. There's another botched snap. Here comes the rusher, Jimenez, in trouble. He will get all the way up to the 10. I don't know how he keeps doing it. I mean, they botched the snap, and it's like magic. He just keeps getting back into it. And we're seeing a lot of issues with the ball control on Woodbury's side.
Yes, we are.
But it doesn't seem to be bothering them. That's the crazy thing.
No,
I don't know how this is not coming back to bite them. It's just like they're making these mistakes, and then whoopsie, we get it back. That's at least the third bobbled or fumbled snap in this first drive, which brings us into the final 5 minutes just about of the first quarter. We're at 2nd and 5. They're at the 10-yard line. And Woodbury will be looking for their first score of the afternoon, again in a game that they lost 28-16 by 12 points last year. 1 year ago to the day in Woodstown. Handoff, right side. It's to Thomas. They'll get taken down on the far sideline with a sweep to the right that time. Again, Woodbury doesn't need to do too much here.
No,
They just need to hang on to the ball. That's their first point of concern, is that if they get into the end zone, that's great. But when Anthony Reagan and their assistant coaches go back into the huddle, hey, hang on to that ball, because that is what's going to be a haunt for them if they cannot do that. Because if they keep fumbling the ball, one of these drives, one of these plays, Woodstown's going to pick it up, and they're going to pay for it.
Yes, you cannot continue to put the ball on the ground. You kind of have to talk to your center, tell them to get the snap down. Your quarterback Jimenez in the backfield. He's tall, he's lengthy back there, but he's not that tall. You get the snap to him, get your plays. Be more confident in your play. And
we got whistles
that's gonna be
on
a
the
false
snap.
Start.
Looking like a false start here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big loss for no.
Oh, wow.
Offside. Okay. Big break there,
corrected.
and because they're on 3rd and 4, that's going to drop the sticks. They're going to make it 1st and goal. Again, Woodstown in their 2nd year under Coach Trouts, Frank Trouts, assisted by Frank Costello, Matt Smart, and Don Dunner. And also volunteered by Rich Lehman, Mike Wickhart, Joe Ruggieri, Kamal Harvey, Ramon Roots, and Kyle Massey. But Woodstown taking over for the former head coach John Adams, who coached, I believe, for about 9 years up until the 2023 season. And Adams was, again, a big mainstay in why Woodstown Group 1 football has been so good over the years. Man in motion in Young. Jimenez handoff left side. This could be a score, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Woodbury. Their first of the night, their first at home of the year. And Dale Thomas goes 5 yards to the house, and Woodbury's on the board here in their home opener with 4:51 left in the first quarter. It's 6-0. I really like that offensive progression there from Woodbury. After a drive that was successful but riddled with mistakes, they just barreled down, they locked in, and got themselves a couple of sweeping runs to the left and to the right, and one way or another found themselves into the end zone. They will attempt a simple PAT. Mark Martin will kick. Can't tell who's on the hold, but Woodstown getting ready to jump the line. This is looking good. It's up, and it is wide left. So couldn't get it that time for Mr. Martin, but they're able to get 6 points on the board thanks to a 5-yard rush by Dale Thomas. 4:51 left in the first quarter. We'll be right back. In the background of the Woodbury Bowl is the Inspira Hospital in Woodbury. I'd imagine if you parked in the top level of that parking garage, you'd probably have a good view of the Woodbury Bowl and also the Francis Avenue soccer fields behind this wonderful complex. I say it's wonderful because I can back my car right up to the press box and unload from there. I don't have to climb any stairs. I don't have to unload anything. We just get up and go. Martin to kick. Ware and number 9, Antonio Merendino, to return. With the marching band loud and proud, excuse me, that's number 5, Sincere Cook Reese. Oh, a big hit in the backfield. That was a fantastic hit from number 99. Again, Omar Johnson, the tight end and linebacker, utilizing both of those positions effectively in this first drive. And now with under 5 minutes left in the first quarter, Woodstown will try to get themselves on the board here.
Yeah, Hurst coming back out for yet another drive. Woodstown was, saying really, really conservative, I guess you could say. Trying to just preserve the ball. Not really trying to come down the field too much. Not really going to throw the ball at all. It looks like Woodstown is really just looking for a stretched out possession. Just trying to hold some time here in the first half.
Yeah, like we said, Horst did not throw more than 78 passing yards in his first 2 games of the season. They won 34-14 versus Pittman on opening night. That was a home opener for Woodstown. And then a 35-7 loss to Delsey and a 33-27 loss in triple overtime versus Shalleck. That game would have ended in a tie if they did not score. But it was the first time that Shalleck beat Woodstown since 2010. And one of the more historic rivalries in South Jersey, especially down in the heartland of Salem County. They got 4 yards on that last play. They now run it again up to the left side, up the gut on 2nd and 6. And they'll get it up to the 31. Again, slowly but surely. You have trust in your guys. You have trust in who you put your heart into. Only 4 rushers have been registered for Woodstown this year. Braden Hall's got 27 rushes for 129 yards. Frank Horst has picked up a couple of rushes and 2 rushing scores. Mason Middlemiss and Cole Ware have also recorded rushes this year, but to a lesser extent.
Safe to say this Woodstown football team is going to run the football.
Well, Horst will. He will run it himself. He'll get it up to the 36, and it'll be a first down Wolverines.
Yeah, why not just spread your wide receivers out, spread the defense out? If you're going to go in an empty look or, a trips right with only one to the other side, you're going to spread your defense out. Those linebackers are going to have to pick their poison. A 6'4", 215 quarterback, he's going to be able to tote the rock up in there and get that first down.
Especially when you have a quarterback that big. Sometimes when we talk about these young quarterbacks or these young players that are, kind of large in size, sometimes they have that build, but they don't know what to do with it. And that's one of the things that I see. I see it especially in basketball. We see players that have this giant growth spurt going into high school, and they're so tall and they're so large that they don't know what to do with their own strength. And sometimes it can end up coming back to bite them. But Horst, again, with a handoff of the middle, he's already got 8 yards on that play. Woodstown can score by being consistent. That's what we saw last night in Delsey Kingsway. Kingsway didn't come out of the gate and blow Delsey out of the water. It was scoreless after the first quarter. But Kingsway found their groove. They put up 22 points in the first quarter, and then by that point the game was pretty much over, and it was a 36-0 final. 2nd and 3. Again, everybody with the Woodbury crew out here today, the cheerleaders, the marching band. Here's Horst. He's going to let this one deep down the right side. That could have been grounds for pass interference, but it was close. The intended receiver was Lucas Fulmer, and the defensive back who broke it up was Nico Jamirs.
And you kind of have to expect that, right? If you're Woodbury, from this Woodstown offense, they're working out of the I formation, and I formation handoff. You got the fullback right in front of the halfback. They're going to keep giving off the inside zone, right to left, left to right, inside zone, inside zone. If you're Woodbury and you're the defensive back or you're defensive back coach for Woodbury, it's only a matter of time before that QB keeps that ball on that inside zone for a play action pass.
Incomplete that time, but I was a little bit surprised they went that deep on 3rd and 3. Now the handoff over up the middle to Middlemass. He gets himself across midfield. He's at the opposing 49. Woodstown first down. I'm really impressed with how they're driving so far.
Absolutely.
You know, didn't get anything going. They were forced to punt on that first drive, and it looked like it was going to be a Woodbury game to remember. But now Woodstown getting in their groove in drive number 2. Again, 2 straight losses for at least both of these teams, because Woodbury's lost 3 in a row to start the season. Woodstown is 1-2, and they've lost their last 2 straight after, again, another Group 1 win over Pittman on opening night. So when we talk about what Woodstown's capable of, what's going to be important is seeing how they will adapt. This is their second game in the Diamond Division, because Delsey's in the Classic, and I'm pretty sure Pittman's in the Royal Division. So with this only being their second divisional game of the year, they've got a long stretch ahead. Handoff to, I believe that's Cole Ware, barrels through. And again, consistency will kill here tonight. They're going to get up to the 40-yard line. This might be enough for back-to-back first downs. Let's see here. No, it's going to be a gain of 9. It's going to be second and short, but still an impressive gain nonetheless as we get to the final minute of the quarter.
Like you said, like, Woodstown can score consistently, and these drives are just as that, very consistent. They listed multiple rushers so far for the season for Woodstown, multiple guys in the backfield carrying some of the load, and if you're a running football team, and then that's the way that you're moving, and you're really able to get a lot of guys back there in the backfield, you're able to have fresh feet most of the time.
Oh, Horst, he stumbled. He was actually able to stay up. Now he's going to get a first down. How about this? He'll step out of bounds. Chased out by number 50 for the Herd, and Isaiah Dunleavy. But, man, that was kind of the inverse of what happened to Nico Jimenez, where, again, it wasn't – this time it wasn't a bad snap, but he almost went down. I was surprised they didn't call him down for a knee being down. I mean, he must have stayed up. That must have been a split-second reaction. But now that he gets out of bounds, it's 1st and 10 from the 32. And, again, making something out of nothing here. That could have been a very bad play. He could have been sacked. Could have brought this morale for Woodstown down, and now with 15 seconds left in the quarter, they find a way to put themselves back in the spotlight. They're back at the 32.
Absolutely.
So this looks like it'll be the last play of the quarter. Low snap, Horst. Again, line drive pass. It's caught to Ware. He's down. Cole Ware, the 5'11 sophomore, comes up with it for a gain of about 3, as again he hit his man on the flat that time. And that will be the end of the first quarter here from the Woodbury Bowl. After one, in one of the most beautiful venues of South Jersey high school football. You might want to visit here sometime. And if you can't, you get to watch all 4 home games on DWB. After one, it's Woodbury 6, Woodstown 0. Second quarter ready to go here from Woodbury. Woodstown driving. They're at 2nd and 7 after a short completion to Cole Ware. Sent a man in motion. That is Brayton Rudy. They're at the 30. They send another man in motion, and Ware, low snap. They throw. It is a pass, tipped and almost picked off. We've got a flag on the play. That ball almost hit the ground prior to Horst throwing it.
Dangerous one right there.
Yeah, that definitely could have been an interception if that pass got tipped a little bit earlier. So 5-yard penalty against Woodstown, and they were at 2nd and 7, but it's now going to be 2nd and 12. Going to be a wrench in their plans.
Absolutely.
As they go back to the 33 now.
Flags are
So illegal shift was the call.
Oh. Flags are kind of starting to kill Woodstown early a little bit here.
Yeah,
They're still driving, though.
Yeah, seen a decent amount of flags today, but it seems like both teams just have a lot of resilience.
Absolutely.
As a handoff this time, he's going to find some space. This is what we're talking about. Where, sliding through, he gets up to the 22, and he's going to make up most of that ground. So it was, well, first of all, it was 2nd and 12, and now it's going to be 3rd and short. So because of the illegal shift, they just got the 5-yard penalty with no loss of down. And now it'll be 3rd and 2. They're out on the doorstep of the red zone. They're at the 22. Just starting the second quarter here from Woodbury, 6-0. 5-yard rush to the end zone by Dale Thomas was the first score of the night as the marching band plays on. I'll have to turn up my volume here. Oh my goodness, it's a roaring one here. As Hortz, look out, he is brought down hard as he just ran straight into a gap that wasn't there. Tackle made by number 50, Isaiah Dunleavy. And Woodstown is going to get a loss on the play. They're going to be set up for 4th and 4. Here from the 26-yard line.
That Woodbury front four, I mean, they're just getting back there. I mean, Moody. There's just a bunch of guys on that front four. Obviously.
That defense really standing up. They lost 2 yards on the play. It'll be 4th and 4. Woodstown keeping the offense on the field. I like that move. Again, when you don't really have a standard place kicker that can't really hit long field goals, you're thinking of, okay, you're too deep to punt. So you kind of just have to keep it here and see what happens. As this one is Middlemass on the carry. He is stopped at the 23. I don't know. One ref is signaling one thing. Woodbury wants it to go their way. Waiting for a call. Woodbury's applauding, so it will be a turnover on downs. They were short by maybe a yard. And it will be a turnover on downs.
Credit to that running back, number 3 for Woodstown. He took a shot.
And
he still was able to reach there to try to get that first down marker.
Yeah, Middlemass really, and he's going to line back up as a defensive back here. He's a senior, 5'10", 160.
What a baller.
Yeah, again, in Group 1 football, you have to be. This is the most gritty, kind of I wouldn't say unfazed, but again, gritty is a good word to describe these programs because you deal the hand that you are given, and however many players you have on this roster, there's no room for short business. Jimenez pass caught and taken down. Oh, still in play that time for Eli Young. Gets up that time to the 30. I don't know where he stepped out. It looked like he was in, but I didn't hear a whistle. If they spot this at the 29, it does look like that he did step out of bounds.
Yeah.
Again, hard to tell from our vantage point with the Woodbury sideline being in the way. Those referees have a better angle than we do.
He definitely was never taken down to the ground right there.
No, he must have stepped out at some point.
Yeah.
And it only takes a little bit.
Got to know where you're at on the field.
Good snap that time to Thomas. Thomas barreling through. He's got a first down and then some. He's down at the 40.
That burst of speed, man, oh man.
It's just a rapid acceleration that really helps these guys so much. And Woodbury being able to move the chains here, looking to go up 2 scores in the early part of the second quarter. Really going to be fun here for the Thundering Herd because they're going to find a way. These teams really seem to find a way to bounce off of each other really well, and this could set up for a very good ball game going forward. First and 10, 41-yard line. Two receivers on each side. Jimenez rolling out. He's going to take this himself. Breaks a couple tackles. He's got one man to go. He cuts to the left. He spins, fires, couldn't get past him. Tackle made by Lucas Fulmer, but another huge first down, and Woodbury, blink and you'll miss it, they're in the red zone. And that's another big one, being able to advance the ball that quickly on a QB rush by the mobile Nico Jimenez.
Yeah, I didn't know he had that little burst of speed. Well, the way the defense was coming down, once he had got about 10, 15 yards past the line of scrimmage, it looked like they kind of had the angle on him. But that burst of speed, once he got closer to the sideline, able to break two tackles, that was really a great run by the quarterback on that keeper.
Yeah, that's definitely something that caught me by surprise. Is now a handoff to Thomas. And again, a diverse offense will really help both of these teams out this afternoon as they are in the red zone. They're at the 19-yard line. They will get a gain of 2-ish on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 8. They're going to line this one up at the 16, right around the 16.5-yard line. But again, Woodbury got a lot of big breaks, a lot of big runs from Thomas and Jimenez, the QB. He'll drop back in the pocket, fires left side. It is complete. Had a DB on him quickly. Pass was complete to Eli Young. Noah Chu came down with the tackle, but still able to get the job done and bring up 3rd and short.
100%. Then, if you look near side, if you see this receiver, the reason he could be so far to the sideline is to really get this one-on-one matchup and no safety help from the backside. That safety is really looking at where the main players are on the field, and with so much spacing, that opens up a one-on-one man coverage situation that the wide receiver just has to beat his man on the full outside. Another handoff.
Out to the right side this time. Ware will bring him down. It's on 3rd and short, and all you need is a yard, and I think they got more than that, and it will. So they'll drop the sticks. They're inside the 10, and Woodbury's got 1st and goal for the 2nd time tonight. They're now at the 6-yard line. And they're up 6-0 because they scored 5-yard rush to Dale Thomas. The extra point was missed in the first quarter.
They're just doing a great job.
Oh, that one snapped. It was muffed again. Another broken tackle. And this time he gets tripped up out of bounds. The last line of defense that time
That's a great job.
Was I think that was number 50 on the play, Mark Levick. And a Woodstown player is down. So they will sort everything out here as another bad snap to Jimenez. Again, I don't know whose fault it is, because when you talk about these muffed snaps, it just seems like Woodbury seems to get anything out of it. I think they lost a few yards on that play. If not, they got back to the line of scrimmage. But this is going to be an interesting situation for Woodbury going forward as they set things up for 2nd and goal from the, I guess, right around the 9-yard line. Again, we'll be here for all 4 Woodbury home games this year. Any playoff games that Woodbury would host at home as well would also be under the DWB umbrella. Big thanks to Anthony Browning and Anthony Reagan for having us out here for the 2nd straight year. We love coming back to Woodbury. We've got 3 straight Saturdays with the Thundering Herd. We've got the Group 1 state champions from last year, the Glassboro Bulldogs, coming next Saturday the 27th, and then the Gateway-Woodbury rivalry happening on Saturday, October the 3rd. After that, we won't see Woodbury again until Saturday, October 25th, when they will face the Shalleck Cougars to close out the WJFL Diamond season. So they are still attending to this Woodstown player. Yeah, this is looking a little more serious. We're going to take a quick break. 6:20 left in the second quarter as they attend to this player. Well, unfortunately, this is a scene that we're seeing now for the second night in a row. The Gloucester County EMS is on scene. Again, can't tell the Woodstown's player's number. We're not going to zoom in just for his privacy, but there's athletic trainer Dan Evans down there attending. And, well, last night we saw player Aiden Terrell go down for Kingsway. At the start of the fourth quarter, he had suffered a seizure on the sideline. That was not known to us at the time, but thanks to the journalism of Bill Evans, we were able to find out what had happened and that he is in good condition. But it was a condition that he had known. But again, that attention is now turning to this Woodstown player who it looked like he had gone down with something non-contact because he was chasing the quarterback. And again, the scene right now is turning very very seriously to this Woodstown, I believe, lineman who is injured. He's sitting right around the 10-yard line face down. Again, he went down, and the scene that we saw was that the athletic trainer, Dan Evans, came out, and it was just going to be a normal injury checkup, but now they're bringing out a stretcher, and again, Gloucester County EMS on site. Again, just it's rough because this is the second night in a row, second day in a row that we have seen a player go down and require to be lifted into a stretcher and into an ambulance. And it's never what you want to see in the football environment because this is a very physical game. It's a game that really is merciless when it comes to who it takes and who it it taketh and it giveth away, and that's what we all say. But again, this Woodstown player still needing that attention. Again, with Gloucester County EMS on site, usually keeping an ambulance for these football games. We saw it last night at Kingsway again, and unfortunately, for the second night in a row, we are needing this medical attention. So we'll take a quick break. When he's loaded onto the stretcher, we'll come back. But again, we're just going to keep this wide shot just for his privacy as he is being attended to. Woodbury has the ball. It is 1st and 10 from around, I believe, the 8 or 9 yard line. And the scene right now is a very quiet one here in Woodbury, as we'll be right back. Back here from Woodbury. This is, again, a very, very scary situation here. Gloucester County EMS is on site if you missed it. There was a Woodbury defensive lineman, who, from what we looked at on the video, we won't show the replay, but it didn't look like anything gruesome had happened. It looked like he had maybe gotten a shove in the back. We had a little bit of a tighter shot with our camera, so it looked like he may have gotten a shove. It didn't look entirely non-contact. It could have been, but the player went down, and immediately we knew, or at least the athletic trainer, Dan Evans, knew something was wrong. And Woodbury now getting some runs in to keep themselves fresh. Again, this has been at least a 10-minute delay with with Woodbury. Again, this Woodstown player that is down. We have 6 minutes, 20 seconds left in the second quarter. And again, this is something where Woodstown will have to play this game with a chip on their shoulder for this gentleman.
Absolutely.
But it's crazy. This is the second game in a row that we've had a player what appears to be seriously hurt and needing a stretcher into an ambulance. I saw it last night. Again, the gentleman, Aiden Terrell for Kingsway, he suffered a seizure on the sideline.
Just terrible to hear.
Unbeknownst to us at the time, but this is, again, a very scary situation. We're halfway through the second quarter, and, again, this is at least a 10-minute delay for this gentleman. Both athletic training staff, along with, again, Gloucester County EMS. On the far side of your screen, we're keeping this wide shot for the gentleman's privacy in the stretcher. And we're hoping, and there's a second Gloucester County EMS ambulance now arriving onto the scene. So they are going to go through the gate on the far side, and they will enter the field. So this is a new development.
It's just something that you hate to see, Dan. You know, a lot of young, beautiful, athletic gentlemen from South Jersey decide to play this beautiful game, and you just never want to see anything like this. You never want to see anything like you saw last night. Never.
No, and today as well. I mean, it's again, we don't know what his injury is. We won't speculate on what his injury is, but they are bringing a second ambulance on site to get him a closer spot to get into the ambulance for Gloucester County EMS. And again, that player will be lifted into the Gloucester County EMS ambulance. Again, a second one arrived. I didn't know if they were going to wheel him over to the first one on the far side of your screen, but this one a little bit closer is going to be where the player is brought in. So, again, a very scary situation, and Woodstown, with the rest of this game in tow, will have to play with their chip on their shoulder for their brother, for their teammate, their friend, who has suffered this injury. And whoever the gentleman is, again, I didn't see a number or anything, but that's not the point. That's not the concern. The concern is that the gentleman is getting loaded into the ambulance, and spare a thought, spare a prayer for himself, for his family.
Yes.
And it's
Well, a big shout out to our medical personnel being on the spot.
there you go. The public address announcer
Positive energy.
got the round of applause. Again, the standing ovation for the Woodstown player on both sides, as he will get loaded into the Gloucester County EMS ambulance. And I don't want to sound like coming off the wrong way, but the good news is that the Inspira Hospital is right across the street. So if he does need emergency care, then he's not going to be very far. Kingsway last night, Kingsway is a lot more rural, so you are dealing with probably about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to the nearest hospital. The Inspira in Mullica Hill on 322. This Inspira is quite literally in our camera shot. So, again, prayers to that gentleman, to his family, to his friends, and to his teammates. This is a very scary situation, and he's going to be in our minds for this for the remainder of this football game. And that Gloucester EMS ambulance will pull away. The referee blows the whistle, and we will resume play here. And we hope that we don't see anything like that again, because it's the second night in a row we've had to see this this unfortunate situation happen. Now, Woodstown and Woodbury, the referees did blow the whistle, but I believe that in this situation, how it was explained to us last night is that the coaches dictate how much time in an extended delay do the teams need to re-warm up. And again, Woodstown giving this ambulance applause with the player inside as they exit the field. But just like if it was a rainy day and you were coming back from a lightning delay, these players need time to stretch. They need time to re-warm up, to stay fresh, and to stay healthy. So, again, the coaches will come together and decide how much time they need. Usually it'll be somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes. Again, about a 20-minute delay here in Woodbury, 6-0. Obviously just a terrible sight. We'll be back in just a moment. Woodstown and Woodbury are warming up again. We appreciate you sticking with us. And, again, thoughts and prayers to that player for Woodstown who got put away in the ambulance. We'll be right back. We will get ready to resume action. It is 1st and goal. So, obviously, that was not the point of concern from the prior play, but there was a flag. So they are going to spot this one at the 18-yard line. I would assume it's a 10-yard penalty against Woodbury because they were at the 8.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what.
Yeah, well, obviously there were bigger problems earlier as Young.
Absolutely.
Will get the rush, and on the first play, he will score. Touchdown, Woodbury. So the one play after the delay and the Herd score, and it is 12-0 Thundering Herd. So an 18-yard rush after the 10-yard penalty, and kind of a humbling way to re-enter the game with Woodstown and their heavy state of mind. Is an 18-yard rushing touchdown. It will be, looks like they're going to bring Jimenez out on the field instead of Mark Martin, so they will go for 2 to try to make up for that missed PAT.
Yeah, try to make it an even 7 on both touchdowns right here.
Would make it 14-0 if successful. Let's see if they can get anything going here and make this a 14-point game. Rolling, right side, he's got room, and he's in on the near pylon. Nico Jimenez goes for 2, and he's got it. And Woodbury leads the Wolverines 14-0. Will stay on the air as an 8-point play and a relatively long drive, but with 6:12 remaining in the first half, we have a 14-0 game.
And Woodbury's just already in the zone, obviously coming after our time that we needed to take for that Woodstown player. Hopefully he's doing okay. Our thoughts and prayers at all times. But But Woodbury coming in, trying to stay warm throughout that time, and having that lane, having these athletes, getting these receivers in space. Everything's just mixing well right now for the Thundering Herd.
Just got a feeling that Woodstown's got to score on this next drive. I feel like with everything going on the field, off the field, I feel like they're going to be very, very dialed in and ready to score.
Yes, absolutely.
By the way, checking in on out-of-town scores, Paulsboro leads Collingswood 24-6 in the, let's see here, I believe they're in the second quarter. Paulsboro was up 24-0, but then Collingswood got a run touchdown back by Terrence Goffney. Not sure who else is reporting on games right now. Don't have anything else right now. Martin will kick. A combination of Ware and Cook Reese will return. This one's a straightaway kick to Ware at the 10-yard line. He botches it, comes up with it, and will lower the shoulder a little bit, and he will be downed at the 23-24-yard line. And they'll have 6:05 left in the half. Seeing if any, obviously college football, a lot of it going on today, but this is technically WJFL football, even though it's in Central Jersey. Princeton leads Hamilton West 6-0 at the end of the first half. So a low-scoring affair.
The Little Tigers.
And we'll get ready for Al Muskowitz report on the Pensgrove game. That's coming up later today as well. That's where he is today, and we've got penalties on the whistle.
I think that went against Woodbury, yeah.
Yeah, offsides for the Thundering Herd. You can still hear that ref from that far out.
He's loud. He's going to let you know what the call is.
Yeah, again, he doesn't need a microphone. He is telling everybody who is here tonight what the call is.
He needs no games at Gateway. He does not need a microphone.
Right.
He does not need a microphone.
5-yard penalty, 1st and 5 from the 29. Woodstown still in their own territory, as an offsides call was made before the first snap of the drive. Hurst, hands off. Middle mass up the middle. They'll get about 3 yards. It's going to be closer to 4 yards here. That's going to be second and short from the 32. Under 6 minutes left in the half here from the Woodbury Bowl. I call it the Woodbury Bowl because it doesn't have an official name. There's a lot of stadiums that have like last night we were at Anthony Barchuk Field. Thursday we were at John Oak Stadium. I would imagine. Listen, there's the Jim Payne Gymnasium, I think it is, over at the Cap Payne Gymnasium over at Woodbury for basketball, where we saw the Devin Williams game last year.
Man, oh man, that was a game to remember. Dan.
Listen, it's what got DWB viral. Got, I think, 150,000 views on Instagram. We got a couple 100,000 on different platforms. Listen, Woodbury going viral on DWB. They will have a high bar to set to break that again. But it's 1st and 10. Woodstown able to move the chains. They're at the 38. And by the way, in more WJFL Group 1 action, Pennsville leads Audubon in a low-scoring affair, 6-3 at the half. Middlemass couldn't get there, and I believe he's going to be at a loss of 1 on the play. And Hamilton West did retake that lead from Princeton. Neutral gain, 2nd and 10. But, yeah, Woodstown needs to score here, but they're going back with their normal ways. They're just staying consistent. They were unable to get, those plays done when it mattered last time, and now they come back into this drive. This is their 3rd drive of the evening, a good run-pass combo. But they had a turnover on downs last time when they were in a an odd predicament where they were up around the 25-yard line, had that fourth down. It was too deep in opposing territory to punt, but it was too deep for a field goal. Looked like that was Fulmer that got the rush that time.
Yeah, a 2-score game, but like, if I'm Woodstown, this is working.
Yeah, this isn't bad at all.
This run game is not bad. You have two absolutely workhorse running backs who are willing to kind of carry the load and get you to that first down marker every single time. These long sustained drives and the good old run game. Woodbury's they're gonna get tired. It happens.
3rd and short with 3:10 left to play in the half. Hurst back in the shotgun. Try not to jump the line that time. They fake the handoff to Ware. He's in trouble. Oh, he made a Woodbury receiver slip and slide, but that is going to be a sputtering play. Looks like Mark Martin picked up the tackle that time. And it'll be 4th and 4. They're back at the 44. We'll see if they go for the special teams unit here. I say that they're keeping Hurst on the field, but that means that they're going to punt because he's also the punter on this program.
He's also the punter.
Yeah.
How can you tell if they're going for it?
Exactly. That's a good point. I didn't think of that. If you've got a quarterback back there, it's almost like playing a deep shotgun. He's about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You only need about 5 yards. Back up the defense on the punt. You fake it. Do what that Hall of Fame game did one time where you throw up your right leg and then you tuck the football to your right side and you run for it.
And it comes back on the reverse. Woodstown, especially with this quarterback, it's absolute
Hold on
athlete.
here.
Timeout.
Timeout called. I believe the Wolverines called it. And indeed, they did call it. So we'll put those timeout markers back up on the board as Woodstown calls their first of the afternoon. We'll take a quick break. Under 2 minutes to play in the half. 14-0 Herd. Woodstown burned their first time out, and something makes me think that they were going to fake it because first of all, they've got, I don't know, this is going to be interesting.
Makes you think like they were thinking about it, right?
They were thinking about it, but they had that timeout to go.
Yeah.
Oh, and that punt is muffed. He almost got it. He gets brought down at the 20. What a pin by Woodstown, and they were so close to getting the turnover there. The return being made by number 13. That was Noel Huertas who came in that time, but he was racing against the clock because he had to hang on to that ball, and now Woodbury dealing with troubles with the ball handling on all sides.
Yeah, if you're Anthony Reagan, this week as you prepare for your next test, ball security drills will definitely be in the practice for this Woodbury Thundering Herd football team.
Again, Woodbury has their first of 3 straight home games this weekend as a throw to the right side to the back, Young, out to the 30. He's going to get 12 yards on the play for a first down, Woodbury.
Love the way Woodbury uses number 3 Elijah Young in the slot. You get a good blocker in that X. In that X almost X position,
We got Thomas this time. He's got another breakthrough.
Look at that.
He is going to get another first down. He's going to be up to the 43.
Man,
that's a gain of 13. So a gain of 12 and a gain of 13. They've crossed 25 yards in the first 2 plays of this drive in your classic traditional 2-minute drill. It's anything but traditional for Woodbury, trying to go up 3 scores here before the end of the half. Woodstown just trying to hang on and make sure that this game does not slip away from them. Woodstown has won the last 3 games between these two head-to-head. He had a lot of time out there, and he'll get pushed out of bounds. Reception made by number 11, Thomas Lewis. Didn't get as many yards that time, but it was still effective. I mean, you saw how much time he had. That O-line holding up very strongly there.
And Woodbury's O-line has had an impeccable first half.
Yeah, that right guard, number 75, Mustafa Moody, saw he really created a lot of pressure that time. And we don't really give the O-line enough credit because he is the one that makes the quarterback shine. It's not the flashiest job, but you can see right there another good play. That was some really good offensive pressure that time from number 54, Julian Dunbar, the left tackle. Even though that pass was incomplete, he allowed they prevented Woodstown from getting any momentum, and that offensive line held up. When you've got those 5 big guys up front, I mean, again, this is a big offensive line, and they are really able to handle somebody like Nico Jimenez, who is a smaller stature quarterback.
Yes.
I don't have his height or weight listed, but it's one of those situations where you think about, how much that's holding up. And it's another one. Lets it fly. Right side. Almost picked off. Wow. A fantastic one-on-one battle that time. As deep down the field was Lewis, and right behind him was Noah Chu.
It's great defense.
That was fantastic defense right there. Again, Jimenez had a lot of time in the pocket, flailed it out to the right, and it looked like if he brought that one down, it would have been in the red zone, but instead, Woodbury is now on 4th and 10, and after a couple of incompletions, they will send back Thomas Lewis to punt.
Woodbury is known for their speed, and you got to think Woodstown knows that. Woodstown knows that Woodbury is known for their speed. So, and even though they're playing a little bit just, let's try to keep the ball. Let's not try to throw it too far down the field. Screen passes, little inside runs. When they do throw it down the field, Woodstown's ready.
Oh, that punt is muffed. It wasn't muffed, but it was just kind of shanked out to the right. It's going to be out at the 40-yard line. And Woodstown will have 45 seconds to get 60 yards downfield, which I think if Frank Hurst puts his mind to it, gets the ball in the air, I think that he can sling it into the end zone or at least into the red zone, try to get a late field goal or something. Yeah. Try to get as close as you can. You have 2 timeouts remaining. Woodbury is all 3. So it'll be interesting to see how that conspires from here. By the way, Paulsboro got another score. They're still in the first half, but it's 32-6 over in Paulsboro at the new Glenn Howard Stadium. Was renamed 2 weeks ago. It was originally the Pete Lamani Stadium, but they renamed it to the famous head coach Glenn Howard, who brought, is synonymous with Paulsboro's success. Dumped it off on the screen that time. Out of bounds is Middlemass. He'll get about 3 yards that time. And now, is Woodstown going to call a timeout here? They do. So he was out of bounds, but they do call their second timeout. 39 seconds left in the first half. We'll be right back here from Woodbury. It's the Herd 14 and the Wolverines 0. Woodstown running against the clock here. 40 seconds. 2nd and 7 after the pass to Middlemass. Here comes Hurst. He's deep. 2-on-1. Too much mustard on the ball. The intended receiver was number 8, Bryston Rooney. Had 2 defensive backs on him. There was no pushing, no tugging. Just overshot it a little bit that time. And sometimes those QBs, these young QBs, can get a little bit overzealous when they come to this passing game. And you think about, again, a freshman quarterback, he doesn't really know yet how to line up those passes, how much time he needs. And again, it can be a combination of whether it was overthrown or whether the receiver underran it. That receiver was on his horse, so he was. You can kind of default to it being overthrown, but you're going to see that a lot more out of a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, just a young
he's class of 2029, I believe. What's freshman this year? 29. Oh my gosh,
29 this year. Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting old, and I turned 20 in November. That's the crazy thing. And I think you graduated, 23 from West Effort?
23.
Yeah, so you're older than me. But, oh, my goodness, 3rd and 7. Horst in trouble. Chased down and wrestled to the ground with a 360 spin that time. Isaiah Dunleavy, the senior, picks up the sack. And Woodstown forced to burn their last time out because they tried to drive it down the field. I think, again, that's another freshman mistake where he spends too much time with the ball. One of the biggest mistakes I see out of younger quarterbacks, freshmen and sophomores, and even juniors I see, they don't know to throw away the ball. No. They have to think that they have to throw it to somebody. No, you don't have to. As long as you don't spike it into the ground and get an intentional grounding call, as long as you don't intentionally ground it, you can throw it away.
Yes,
there's so many quarterbacks these days. I'm not trying to pull another fast one, but a lot of quarterbacks in this era, they are not taught. And again, I'm not saying it's a culture thing. I'm not saying it's a program thing. It's just across the board. These QBs, when they're under pressure, they think that they'd rather just take the sack instead of throwing it away. Now, I do understand if you can't get it to the sideline. He was in the middle of the field. Maybe he could have risked an interception. But, again, some of these quarterbacks, they really like to just stick with their guts and keep the ball at any cost, which in this case – cost them not only yards, they lost a handful on the play. They lost 9 yards, and they're going to punt this one now with Hurst back on the field.
If your high school program's throwing the ball, you have to teach that safety precaution right there, just throwing the ball away.
Good punt here by Hurst. Wow, look at this one. Look at this one. Back to the 10. Oh my goodness, it's going to be touched at the 9-yard line. It's not going to be. Well, first of all, he was back at the 20. So this is going to be a really good punt here. They were back at the 33. That's going to be a 60-plus yard punt. Now it won't really matter much because Woodbury's probably just going to take a knee or they're going to run one play. But if that was at a more pivotal time in the first half, that would have been a near highlight reel punt. It was almost cartoonish. Just kept rolling and rolling and rolling again. That was fantastic punt by the freshman.
Now that's going to help you win the special teams battle in this one. And if you keep winning the special teams battle like that within the second half, that's going to bring you back into this game for Woodstown.
Looks like Woodbury will go into a tight formation, looking like they're going to kneel this one to end the half. They will receive the ball to start the half, and they do. So Woodbury will be up 2 scores at the end of the first half. Obviously, some scares off of the field with that Woodstown injury, but Woodbury with 1 score in each quarter. They score 8 points in quarter number 2. And at the halftime break, it's the Herd 14 and the Wolverines 0 in our first of 4 games with the Woodbury Thundering Herd and their program this season. We'll be back in 15 minutes. We've got the DWB Archives program coming up, and then the halftime show presented by Gray Fox Sports. Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of dog professional wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
Woo!
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field, straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field. And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the 6th. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. And it gets past everybody. Graham will go back to position with no goal scored. They'll count down the time out loud here. Out to the left. One final shot, and it gets through. How about a buzzer beater? How do you do? It's a lead extending goal for Justin Lewis.
One 0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0. Literally, they've been here twice, and they're about to score, or on the doorstep of scoring 50 for the second game in a row. Xavier Terry Brown. He is still on his feet. He's being shoved forward into the end zone. But who's got the ball? Look at Jason Solomon. The ball magically appeared in Woodbury's hands, and now they're back at the 50. This one's going back. This one's going to go to the distance. I don't see any flags. Did that just go for 100 yards? I think it did. I do not see any flags as Woodbury. Oh my goodness, Jason Solomon, have a day. He is the first man not named Taylor to score. Wow, that was good. Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor. Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero. An unbelievable Welcome back here from Woodbury High School, the Woodbury Bowl, as we've got Woodstown 0, Woodbury 14. It's still a close game, but Woodbury's looking like they could get their first win against the Wolverines since 2022. Fantastic first half performance here by Woodbury. 2 rushing touchdowns to get us started, 1 in each quarter, and then an 8-point play in the second quarter. Woodbury's been playing pretty good today.
Yes, they have, with the likes of, the quarterback, Nico Jimenez, running back Dale Thomas. Just the way that they're moving the ball, it's really been an on-the-ground battle. We have seen passes from both sides. Woodstown looking to run the ball more than just throw the ball in this game. Woodbury, obviously athletes, receivers all over the board, speed all over the board. They're looking to air this one out. But nonetheless, we have seen a lot of good runs. Woodbury putting up 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. It didn't. I don't think it broke the spirit of this Woodstown team. Not at all.
And they're still playing with the chip on that shoulder after the kid that went on that went down.
Yes.
In the second quarter. So obviously they're still playing. And we did receive word that he is going to be okay. He was actually knocked unconscious for about a minute, and that was our report from down on the field. But he is going to be okay. Transported to a nearby medical center where he's being evaluated. So we will have about 3 minutes left in the halftime break. So far, though, what do you think Woodstown's got to do to get on the board?
Maybe I don't really think you got to switch up this offense.
No, I don't think they're doing bad at all.
Can I find anything to pinpoint? They're playing really, really good football on both sides of the ball, even special teams. We saw their quarterback.
The 60-yard punt at the end of the half.
An immaculate punt. I mean, that's how you start. You're already winning the special teams battle with that punt right there. If your offense and defense really starts to put it together, Woodstown, their offense does a really, really good job of drawing in the front 7 for the Woodbury defense. Their D tackles, their edge rushers, their middle linebackers. They do a great job of drawing them in. They're able to get the play action pass over the top once the defense is sitting there and expecting the run, and they have the athletes to hit on those plays. They have the run game to continue to pound it to Woodbury. But for Woodbury, on the flip side of that, you can really score about 1 or 2 more touchdowns. And the way your defense is playing, especially those front 4 on that defensive line, they're getting to the quarterback easy. You can walk away with this one, a 3-touchdown, 4-touchdown, if you're favored, with a win.
Yeah, I mean, this will be a big win for Woodbury again versus a team that is 1-2 on the season. Picked up a season-opening win versus Pittman. That's been all they've wrote so far. Had a heartbreaking triple overtime loss last week versus Shalleck, and then Woodbury still looking for their first win of the year. Lost to Brick Township, and then they've only scored 8 points in the last 2 weeks. Going into today, they had 14 in the first half here versus the Wolverines. We'll be right back. I'm Dan Wilkins with Damian Waiters. We've got 24 more minutes of WJFL football here coming up. We come back with a rush all the way. Woodbury's going to get a kickoff return touchdown to start the second half. Woodbury all the way to the house. 70 yards, no flags. As how about that for Samir Pettit, who comes in and makes an instant impact to start the second half.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that one,
No,
folks.
we dropped the ball about that one, but we picked him up right around the 50, and you could paint the picture from there. He didn't break a lot of tackles. He just got into the end zone.
Pettit had no time for us right there.
Yeah, Pettit did not wait for us. We had to be at Pettit's mercy as he runs 75 yards to the house. 3-score game, kickoff return, touchdown, and Woodbury leads this thing 20-0. How about that? Again, just about 75 yards. By the way, Shalleck leads Pennsgrove in another Salem County battle, 7-0 in the second quarter. Jimenez is in the shotgun, so they will go for two. They pitch it back, a high pitch, right side. He is in, and it is good. Back-to-back two-point conversions for the Thundering Herd. And we'll keep this one on the air because it just took 15 seconds to get our first score of the second half. It's Woodbury 22, and again, it is Woodstown 0 as they're going to look for their first score of the day. By the way, more South Jersey Group 1 action. Audubon leads Pennsville 14-10 in the third quarter. We said Shalleck leads Pennsgrove 7-0 in the second. They were scoreless after one. And then Princeton leads Hamilton West 9-7 at half. And it's right now 32-14. Collingswood did get a score back, so Paulsboro still up by 18 in that game. Let's see what else we have. Nottingham leads Hopewell Valley 6-0. And we'll go over some out-of-town scores from last night as well. We'll start off with Oakcrest beating winless Middle Township 46-zip. Delran beat Northern Burlington 31-0. Washington Township beat Millville. That's a big game in one of the top divisions, 21-10. An odd score over Burlington Township. They beat 0-4 Morristown 50-2. So the only scores that Morristown could get was on a safety. Wildwood beat Lindenwald 35-6. Timber Creek beat Williamstown 26-7. Winslow beat St. Augustine in the game of the week, the de facto game of the week, 19-6. Steinert beat Allentown 30-21. Overbrook beat winless Florence 48-6. Pensauken beat winless Vineland 33-13. Rancocas Valley stays undefeated with a 17-14 win over Shawnee. Let's see what else we got. Kingsway beat Delsey last night. That was our game, 36-0. Cherry Hill East shut out Egg Harbor Township 50-0. Eastern beat Cherry Hill West 28-6. Bordentown shut out Lawrence 21-0. Atlantic City beat Ocean City in the Battle of the Shore Towns. As here comes the rush. Almost stepped out. Spinning, firing. Cook still on his feet, and he's going to be down at the 32.
It's a big hit.
That was a big hit, but he'll stay on his feet, and he'll get this drive started from the 32. More out-of-town scores as we go along prior to this drive. Mainland beat Cherokee 42-21. Cedar Creek beat Hamilton 41-7. We saw Camden beat Holy Spirit 28-14. And then after that, we'll see if anything else is left. And NJ.com doesn't really sort it between north and south. It's just whenever you can catch. Let's see. West Deptford beat Camden Catholic 58-14 last night. We talked about Tim Holmes, that quarterback who transferred from Woodbury to West Deptford.
Yeah, that was a good. That was not. Well, I'm not gonna say not a good game, but that was a good game.
It was a blowout. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely good.
Camden Catholic falling
8 at half
to 0-8 or 0-4 on the season as the rush to Middlemass gets about 5 yards. Pleasantville beat PVI 6-0 last night. Low-scoring affair. Highland beat Clearview 35-0 for the first win in the second year for Sean Daniels as head coach over there. Haddonfield beat Seneca 14-11 last night, and that looks like that's all we've got. I will say, though, Manville, not South Jersey for our purposes, but South Jersey for the sake of PowerPoints, they're 4-0, and they shut out Middlesex last night 42-0. They've shut out 3 opponents in a row. They shut out Hopatcong, Belvedere, and Middlesex in the Big Central. We saw Manville in the playoffs last year versus Paulsboro. Hand off to Ware. He's going to get wrestled up at the 40-yard line. Going to be a gain of 1 or 2. We'll see where they put it on forward progress. And no, the wind that you hear is not wind. It's the air conditioning unit in the press box. I just had to turn it off there. Although I do appreciate the air conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many press boxes do I feel like I have to start unbuttoning my polo by the time the third quarter starts? And it's nice to, again, the weird thing is if you noticed anything different about the press box, we're actually walled off from the other half of the press box, if you've ever been to Woodbury, with Mr. K, the public address announcer, and the folks here. As here's Hertz, right side. Oh, got a stiff arm to the face that time. He gets down to the 45. That's going to be enough for a Wolverines first down.
You know, that was a great play there by Mark Martin. A great angle there to take on Hurst to he definitely looked like he got there for that first down. I don't know where they're going to mark this football.
I thought he got there by about a yard or two.
Yeah. It looked like he got all the way to the 45. I don't know where they're going to mark this football at.
Hold on, there's an unsportsmanlike conduct call on Woodstown. I didn't see a flag come in, but
no flag at all,
it must have been covered up by the Woodbury sideline. And this now means that they're going to be back to the 35. So they'll have 8 yards to go. An odd play there, or an odd situation. Here we go.
No flag there.
Yeah, and they'll have to get these next couple of plays off without making any of those mental mistakes, especially on an unsportsmanlike conduct call. Ooh. They will get through. Cole Ware making up for the prior mistake by his offense with a first down, and they get it all back that time.
If you're looking at the Woodbury defense, especially when it comes up to these third down and fourth downs for Woodstown, they're putting up the 5-man front. They're even showing a little bit of illusion. They're putting up a linebacker, maybe a Sam or a Mike linebacker, to come up and stun at the quarterback, seeming like he's going to blitz. But they're definitely sending a front 3 with 2 edge rushers coming off the sides. And with that inside zone right there, all the pressure that's on the outside, all the pressure that's keeping the contain, supposed to contain Hurts, the quarterback who's been running all day. You get a good play there.
Handoff up the middle, look out below. Here comes another big rush by the Wolverines. It's Anthony Costello, the senior back, coming in that time. Back-to-back first downs for the Wolverines. They finally seem to get something going here. But we can only talk about hypotheticals for so long. They still have to put points on the board here in a 22-point game. Again, with both of these teams being relatively young, Nico Jimenez, the younger quarterback, the junior, and then the hold on here. Woodstown player is down. And it feels like every time you see a Woodstown player down, you get flashbacks to that gentleman from the second quarter. It is Anthony Costello down, but he is able to get back up on his feet quickly.
That's always good to see.
Referees trying to break things up with the Woodbury sideline because they're saying that it wasn't a timeout. So, again, there's kind of different rules and restrictions. When there's an injury timeout, it can't be treated like a regular timeout.
No, yeah.
I have seen some situations where a timeout has actually been charged to a team for treating an injury timeout like a regular timeout. Some referees will do it. They kind of have to walk a fine line with it, though, but it's kind of like if the coach is in the huddle talking it over, you're technically not allowed to do that.
Timeout, yeah.
Oh, Hurt's going to take it himself. Ooh. No luck that time. And a host of Woodbury defenders and the gentleman in the Guardian cap, it is Omar Johnson who comes in, picks up the tackle for the loss. And now that momentum starting to shift back to the Thundering Herd again. It's back to 2nd and 12 from the 37-yard line.
It's a beautiful play there by Omar Johnson. He's shooting the gap waiting to see where the ball is going. He sees linemen coming at him, trying to give him a good block, coming to give him a good little chuck to get him off the midline out of the trench. He has his eyes in the backfield the entire time. He knows where that ball is going to be.
2nd and 12 after the tackle for loss on Frank Hurst. Handoff to Ware. That again gets wrapped up. It looked like he had all the momentum, and then he just got pulverized. And it'll be 3rd down and about, 3rd and 9 here. So they'll need those plays. Wouldn't be surprised if Hurst tries to go to the air this time.
Not at all, especially on this 3rd and long call. Woodstown with a lot of misdirection. This play design is very beautiful, but it's not amounting to much here. It's the Woodbury defense able to hold up. They're not easily fooled.
They are not easily fooled, and Woodbury's been known to have, a decent defense when it comes to that run game, and Woodstown has been hankering on that run game for most of this second half. Again, kind of getting a gut punch of the kickoff return to start. Ware, again, trying to find a gap in the offensive line, got it up to the 31. It's a gain of 3. Well, do you keep the offense on the field here? What do you think?
Where, if I'm Woodstown, I'm asking our kicker, where are you hitting from? We're at the 30 right now. Okay, do you have 47 yards in you? Like, do you like, well, if we had to add 17 yards plus the 30, do you?
You need points.
Yeah, you definitely do need points. You definitely do need points. You can't.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is that if you line it up from the 31, that's a 48-yard attempt. The longest field goal we've ever seen attempted was I think it was a 56-yard attempt by Hunter Dragata by Shalek, and that was like 10 yards short. He drops back, going to pass on 4th and mid-range. Hurst trying to barrel through. I think he's short by a yard.
Yeah.
And Woodbury's going to get a huge turnover on downs this time around as, again, a big stop. Woodbury comes in. Hurst, again, the big barreling freshman, 6'4", 215. The freshman quarterback has had some success with the QB keeps. Unable to replicate that success, and it's a turnover on downs. Woodbury at their own 30.
Hurst wanted to get that ball out of there. He wanted to get that ball out of his hands and just put a rocket on somebody. A lot of even though there was many receivers that time for Woodstown on that 4th down try, not many routes going downfield, just really to the sticks trying to get a 1st down. Woodbury had that one covered up.
1st and 10. Jimenez with a lot of time, throws it to the left side.
Ooh.
That was a great screen pass. It's going to get him at midfield. Here comes a big hit. Boom! From number 2, Lucas Fulmer. Catch made and statement made by Orlando Concepcion. Comes up and flips the field on the first play. Gets it all the way up to the 33-yard line before Fulmer barreled him out of bounds.
Yeah. Man.
Hold on here. Referees are talking it over. Is there a flag down somewhere? It's going to be coming back. Yep, there's a flag on the near sideline, or near the sideline. And Woodbury's walking this one back. It's an offensive hold. That's the drive killer. You just made a huge play. It's your first play of the drive. Coming back from a turnover on downs. I'm sure it's a good break for Woodstown, but again, this is going to be coming way back here. So all of those yards are for naught. Again, it's 10 yards to the spot of the foul in high school.
And if you know anything about Woodbury, their bread and butter, especially in the years when they on the roster when they have speedy wide receivers, their bread and butter is the speed pass, or excuse me, a screen pass, not a speed pass, a screen pass outside. They always throw it to the wide side, which for the quarterback might be some problems.
And off. Oh, look at that. He breaks a tackle. He's got Ware behind him. Now he's got some more room. He breaks through. He's gone. He is gone. Look at him go. The Woodbury crowd to their feet. And for the second time today, Woodbury all the way. Touchdown Herd. They break through, recovering from a hold call that brought the last play back. And Woodbury in the end zone for a huge 71-yard rushing touchdown to put this game potentially under wraps.
I have no words.
Wow.
Dan. No words. Dale Thomas. I have no words.
Dale Thomas.
I have no words at all. What a play.
Second rushing touchdown of the game, this time the biggest one so far. 71 yards. And he comes up huge. Wow.
I mean, the way the hustle to the sideline on the hustle to the sideline on the initial, he wanted to come near side with it, but, breaking tackles, breaking it over tie tackle. Somebody grabs you on the back of your shoulder pads, and you're going to go under their arm. And just the burst of speed. My goodness, Dale Thomas.
Woodbury again, an 0-3 start, looking for their first win of the year. They pitch it back for a 2-point attempt, not going to get there. The rush was made by number 7, Kyrie Brown, and a late flag comes in after the whistle, well after the whistle, in fact. So I would imagine that this has to be a personal foul of some kind. Let's see what the call is here. Dead ball foul on Woodbury. Again, as we suspected, a personal foul. So the thinking is that's applied on the kickoff.
Looks like it, yeah.
That would give Woodstown a good position, but what a third quarter this has been. Kickoff return for the score, Samir Pettit, and then a 71-yard rush to the house by Dale Thomas, his second rushing touchdown of the evening. It's great stuff this time.
Speed runs through the city of Woodbury, man. My.
Except for on Broad Street. Speed limit's 25 there. That's the only time. But
only time. Yep.
Woodbury will get ready to kick this one off again with a 28-0 lead. Speaking of Broad Street, there it is. Or at least we'll get that video up. There you go. Shot from Broad Street there. This broadcast is brought to you by Rowan College of South Jersey at the Gloucester campus, New Jersey's premier community college. With over 50 degree programs available for your associates, visit rcsj.edu to become a Roadrunner or visit rcroadrunners.edu to become a prospective athlete of the Roadrunners. Got back out there in early August, took some shots out at Broad Street. Just a fantastic little downtown. A lot of very diverse Latin food options.
Yes.
You got your Venezuelan options and you got your Asian options, and I need to go back down to Woodbury downtown more because it's a fantastic place to be. And if we're going to be here for 4 home games this year, I'm going to have to make some trips. Going to have to indulge in Woodbury's Broad Street. This one is up. Again, the penalty being assessed on the kickoff. They sent it back, I believe it was 15 yards, and Woodstown will return the ball up to their own 39-40-yard line. And that is where we see Woodstown start this drive. Again, down 28-0. This has really been turned on its head because we were all thinking, again, that Woodstown was going to stay in this game and it was going to be a competitive second half. But Woodbury really put a rest to that with, again, a 75-yard rather kickoff return, and now a 71-yard rush to the house by Dale Thomas. Just what a day it's been for Woodbury. Again, a home opener here. It was going to be a big game anyway for Woodbury, and now they come in with a little bit of momentum. If they win this one, and especially if they win in a shutout fashion, this is going to be a big momentum shifter going into that Glassboro State Championship game on Saturday, the 27th.
Yes, it will.
Hurst drops back, breaks through the O-line. He's got Taylor on him, and he takes himself out of bounds without taking any hits that time. Chasing him out was number 55, Caleb Curry. He's going to get about maybe 2 or 3 yards that time. He got to the 40, so he got 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. Again, I like the fact that Hurst didn't put himself in too much trouble that time. Ended up giving himself enough space where it ended up not being a problem, ended up putting himself in good space. Ran it out of bounds, didn't take a big hit. You got to keep your QB clean, got to keep him healthy.
Yes, at all times.
Here comes a handoff. to Middlemass. Got another 2 yards there. But again, in this juncture of the game, it's not going to be enough. I mean, it's 5 minutes left in the third quarter. You need some more explosive plays. A lot of the great comebacks start with a big explosive play. And you can't force it too much. That's where you walk the slippery line, is where you cannot force that big explosive play, because if you do, then you're going to find yourself in even bigger trouble because of the fact that, well, you are forcing that big explosive play.
You're forcing
it will happen if you put your mind to it, but you can't overuse your resources, or else you're going to put yourself in even worse situations. That's why these teams think one play at a time, especially in this drive-specific situation. I-form, man in motion. Ball comes out.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy. That's going to be trouble. I believe Woodstown held on to it. Woodbury wants the ball, but I think it's Woodstown's ball.
Yeah.
It's going to be a loss of 1, and you got to keep the offense on the field, though.
Yeah, you got to go for it here. Down 4 scores. 6 yards to go for the Wolverines. He hasn't been too comfortable airing it out, but he's an athlete. He's definitely a dual threat quarterback. Not afraid to use his size, not afraid to use his legs, and he can definitely get away from people. Hurst.
4th and 6. Hurst drops back.
Pumps again.
Oh, this is deep.
That's a go, yeah.
Down the sideline, too much on it. It's incomplete. The intended receiver was Sincere Cook-Reese. They put it on him, but a turnover on downs. Woodstown will have their 3rd turnover on downs of the game. Again, they put a lot of air into that ball, but again, as Hurst gets older, as he progresses as a class of 2029 quarterback, that's going to be a big thing that he will have to highlight, is that he has the arm.
Yes,
that arm with strength and conditioning is going to get even better. If I come back all frazzled and gray in 4 years and get to watch him as a senior, I'm sure I'm going to be blown away by the arm, because
100%.
We're going to get to watch this kid grow, regardless of if he transfers or if he stays with Woodstown for all 4 years. This kid's going to be an exciting prospect, and I hope I get to see him develop as a quarterback in the next few years. Keeper, Jimenez, wrapped up at the 37. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and mid-range for the Herd. And remember, one more score and they'll get to the running clock territory, which I didn't think that would be a discussion tonight. Last night it ended up being that way with Kingsway, another game where we thought, who knows? Maybe Kingsway would keep the game close, but Kingsway kept the game far away from Delsea, and it was 36-0. So the whole fourth quarter was running clock.
Now, I may have not been in the call for that one, Dan, but I'll tell you right now, watching that one, wasn't expecting watching you do that one on last night. Wasn't expecting to run the clock either. Delsea is such a storied program, state championship, state semifinal success last couple of years.
Penalty prior to the snap. False start on Woodbury. That'll knock him back 5 yards. Back to 2nd and 10. Kind of more like 2nd and 10.5, but they're back at the 43-yard line. Jimenez deep in the shotgun. They send Young in motion. Back deep. Again, look at that O-line holding up deep. Young's open and incomplete. So close that time. Didn't really have anybody on him. Closest man to him was number 15, Stone Hassler.
And Dan, right there on that last play, Taylor on the far side receiver out there by himself. Had 2 receivers to the near side, plus a split tight end. But, Taylor, the far receiver by himself, all he had was a simple post route. He has his man looking at him. He has a simple post route to run. And Young took the wheel route right behind him. A little bit of post-wheel action there for Woodbury on that last play. And he had the field side wide open. I mean, he was nothing but him and green grass. It's a little bit over the top there for Jimenez, though. A great play design there by Woodbury.
And as it stands, after the incompletion, they send a different man in motion that time. That's number 13. Jimenez still rolling out. Pass caught. Young got the second attempt better than the first. Still trying to stay on his feet. He was down between the 10 and the 15, and actually Young was able to step out of bounds on his own terms. Woodbury's in the red zone for the goodness knows how many times tonight, as they're going to be, again, with under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. So could see a whole fourth quarter with a running clock. Oh, that was a very late flag. And this is where the emotions really end up coming in here, because this has been a mix of unsportsmanlike and personal foul penalties against both sides.
Absolutely.
And right now, again, this is where the emotions of a game that has not gone your way will really come to bite you. Unsportsmanlike on Woodstown. So again, must have been something that we had not heard, but something that must have been said on the field, or maybe somebody got a late shove or something, because, again, that could mean anything. Unsportsmanlike conduct is intentionally a broad term. It's a blanket term. You know, the referees have to lay down the letter of the law, and it helps Woodbury. And, again, Woodstown has to stop making these mental mistakes to stay in this game, because one more score, and Woodbury's about 6 yards away from sending the running clock for the rest of the night. Here comes the rush left side. He's got room, and Dale Thomas with a hat trick. 3 touchdowns tonight, and the clock, get your legs stretched because you're about to get running. Dale Thomas with the score. And that will make it 34-0, a chance to make it 35 with that 1 point or 2 point conversion if they make it 36. As Woodbury putting the business to the Wolverines this afternoon, again setting up for what could be ending up a good game versus Glassboro. Very surprised by how well Woodbury – okay, let me rephrase that. I'm not surprised by how well Woodbury's playing, but I'm more surprised that the score is this wide, because we've seen, even versus teams that didn't have a lot of wins last year, like Pennsgrove, Woodbury still gave them a lot of points. I think it was a 43-30 versus Willingboro last year, 37-25. That kick is up, away, and good. PAT is up, and it's an even 35-0 game. Woodbury will get the clock running with 1 minute and 42 seconds left in the third quarter. We'll be right back. From Woodbury High School, home of the Woodbury Bowl, this broadcast is brought to you by DAWG Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization. You can find out future events for them today by visiting DAWGProWrestling.com. You can also book them for your next corporate event, social outing, whatever you may need. This broadcast is also brought to you by Gray Fox Sports, the premier sports photography organization in South Jersey. Enhance your photos today with the best of the business in South Jersey at grayfoxsports.net or Gray Fox Sports on Instagram. One more sponsor ad read. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass in the first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Of course, Woodstown quite familiar with Pittman. Played them on opening night, August 28th. Woodbury's going to send this one away from the 40. In a 35-0 game, this will be returned by number 10, Andrew White. White with some space. He gets a couple of blocks, and he was tackled by the last line of defense. If he got through that one, it would have probably been a house call for the Wolverines on another kickoff return. But instead, clock will continue to run starting at the 30-yard line for Woodstown's 6th drive of the game. I mean, Woodstown took off a good chunk of time on the board in their first drive, but unable to get something going. By the way, some more out-of-town scores. Paulsboro leads Collingswood 40-20 late in the third quarter, so a high-scoring affair down there.
Yeah,
also,
absolutely.
Pennsville, go-ahead touchdown over Audubon with 10 seconds left. It's 22-17 over in Audubon.
Oh, wow.
Throw over the middle. It's caught. Got a first down. This one might be going to the house. He's got him burnt. It's Sincere Cook Reese. He just cooked the defense at the tail end of the third quarter. It will be enough for a Woodstown score, their first of the game, so they will not be shut out, but it came a smidge too late with that. And a 33 from the 33-yard line, that's a 67-yard touchdown reception for Sincere Cook Reese. Something about the big plays this afternoon here in Woodbury. 71-yard rush by Dale Thomas, 75-yard kickoff return by Samir Pettit. Got to imagine they're going to probably go for two here. I'd have to imagine.
Yeah.
Just why not, right? Down by 35. The only way that you can prevent a comeback, the only way to start a comeback is to be a little bit bold.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they kept their same strategy, they would not be in this position right now where they're on the board.
And, even needing to score right there for Woodstown, that was not hard. Two receivers to the near side. The receiver, the ex-receiver closest to the sideline. Both the safety and cornerback staring him right in the face, expecting the fade route, a fly ball down the field. Hurts would need that right now, so that's what they were expecting.
Low snap, throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was Noah Chu. Got broken up by Mark Martin, and it'll be 35-6 with 12 seconds left in the third quarter. We'll be right back. Woodstown on the board, though. The Wolverines will not be denied. It's 35-6. Well, we got a late third quarter score, and this is going to be a squib kick popped up, and we actually saw a fair catch that time, a rare fair catch on the kickoff, and that is going to end the third quarter because of the running clock. That was Johnson who came up with it, and Woodbury will start the fourth quarter. I guess it was an inopportune time to come back from break because we're going to have to do it again at the end of the third quarter. We just saw the kickoff. We'll be back in just a moment, 35-6. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Getting us started here. First drive of the fourth quarter, we saw a fair catch by Johnson. We're in running clock territory here. Already took 18 seconds off the board on the first play. Here comes a rush to the right side. Big contact, big hit. Rush made by number 9, and that was Dale Thomas, who has picked up the hat trick. 3 touchdowns. Mark Tribble would be proud with the hat trick. He's picked up a handful of different touchdowns in a handful of different ways, and Woodbury able to convert on their first play of the fourth quarter, getting a first down this time. Next Saturday, good snap read that time, but he faked it out to the wrong side, and he's still on his feet, Dale Thomas. I saw that snap read coming up from the linebacker, number 45, who is not on our roster, but what I ended up seeing that time, or that might have been number 44, Ricky Watts. What I was seeing from him was that that was number 45 back there at the linebacker. But what I'll tell you that is there was a lot of success coming out of that, and just again when they rushed it out to the left side, when they faked it, really took away any opportunity for them to succeed. 2nd and 11. 2 wide receivers deep to the right, including number 11, Thomas Lewis out there. Jimenez drops back. He's going to fire over the middle, and it's incomplete. Surprised they're going for a pass there, but they went for Samir Pettit. Tried to put the dagger in.
Yeah, they're looking for the dagger at this point now.
Don't know what happened there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I love the idea of passing in that situation, but that's just my opinion. But again, Woodstown did just get a 67-yard passing touchdown. Maybe you think you need one more to really put it away. I mean, I'm not a when it comes to the argument over running up the score, another score here I don't think will be running it up, but I think I'm surprised that they're putting the ball in the air.
And they're trying to again.
Oh, here we go. They're going to get a first down this time. Jimenez still on his feet, wrestled to the ground at the 29. It'll be a gain of 19, and Jimenez breaking through the offensive line and picking up another first down for the Herd. Just shocking stuff here from Woodbury. I mean, again, we thought going into this game, a game that Woodstown has won the past 3 contests in a row, including a playoff match in 2023, we now find ourselves with a really, really competitive Woodbury team coming in, really showing Group 1 who they have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. And it's one thing about this Woodbury team. Doesn't matter what the schedule says, never. You know, they come in every week hard. They come in every week harder than ever. The way that they practice is a flag. Flies just along the out-of-bounds line.
Looks like that was number 13. That was Huertas who got the rush. Let's see where the penalty is. Holding on the offense. I mean, just looking at as much as I can't stand the United Power Rankings, it is important to look at where they're at, because right now Burlington City actually has the number 1 seed. Glassboro in 2nd, then it's Asbury Park, Paulsboro, and Manville. Right now, Woodbury would be looking at being out of the playoffs because they're in 22nd. The top 16 make it in.
Yeah.
And right now where Woodstown is, they're in 12th. So this might be a big boost for Woodbury if they can knock Woodstown down a peg, but then they'll play, again, the number 2 seed Glassboro next week, and then the number 10 seed Gateway 2 weekends from today. Here's another rush by Dale Thomas. Is he going to go for number 4? He's got another chance from 35 yards out, and he will waltz into the end zone, but a very late flag comes in. That flag came barreling in from the sideline. Woodbury looking for Thomas's 4th score, but again, a late flag came in from far out. It was at the goal line. Offensive hold.
Wow.
They're going to move the sticks, which makes me think that this score is no good. So that score is negated. And they will go back to, looks like around the 15-yard line where that soccer post is. So again, the top 16, we'll just read them out for you because this is South Jersey Group 1. Burlington City, Glassboro, and Asbury Park, top 3. I'm not too familiar with Shore football, so I'm surprised Asbury Park is that high. Paulsboro, Manville, and Shore, Occupy, 4, 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, 9, Shalleck, Kipp, and Highland Park. 10, 11, 12, Gateway, Riverside, Woodstown. 13 through 16 is Middlesex, Point Pleasant Beach, Keensburg, and Pennsgrove. The first 3 out are Salem, Clayton, and Pittman. Again, top 16 make it. The 8 get divided up into the South and Central bracket, which is also something that I've never liked. It should just be South/Central.
Yes,
because
it should.
It doesn't make any sense as to why Millville played in the Central Jersey bracket, even though they're in the heart of Cumberland County. But I don't make those rules. That is well above my pay grade to complain. By the way, Paulsboro scored another touchdown. Malachi McKenzie, 4 passing touchdowns. It's 48-20. And another high-scoring affair over at Glenn Howard Stadium.
My goodness.
6.5 minutes at 2nd and 5. They're at the 10-yard line. Jimenez, pitch, right side, found a gap. It is Pettit up to the middle. They're at the goal line. This is going to be short, though, according to the referees. I believe they were maybe a yard or 2 short. By the way, another close game up in Central Jersey for the Princeton-Hamilton West game. That's 16-14 Princeton. They do drop the sticks. It's enough for a first down. It's 1st and goal. They're at the 2-yard line. Woodbury was denied a touchdown, which would have been Thomas's 4th of the day. They hand it off to Thomas. He will look for number 4 and easily gets in. Dale Thomas with a quadrant of scores that have put his name on the map, and every head coach that faces the Thundering Herd needs to circle his name in the film room, because that is somebody that is going to be a menace all year. 4 rushing touchdowns. It is now 41-6 as Woodbury continues to extend their lead with the clock running. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left. Martin, who made his first PATs, 1 for 2 today. He's going to get the hold from Jimenez.
Yeah, Martin,
1 for 2, missed his first in the first quarter, and then Woodbury got a 8-point play in the second. This one's up. It is away, and into the Gloucester County trees it goes. It is good. So the clock will stop with 5 minutes remaining. It's 42-6. Woodbury up big here in the closing stages of this one from the home of the Herd. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, not often do we see the flag of the school hanging alongside here, alongside the USA and New Jersey flags. Again, I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Damian Waiters on the call this afternoon. closing out week 3 of the 2024-2025 football season. Clock running in a 42-6 game. This one is up. Oh, it's going to be one hopped over to the right side now.
That's a good break.
And they're not going to – oh, they're going to get a little bit further here. Spinning, firing. He's got somebody right on his tail like they're magnetized. And he might be getting a dizzy treatment soon as the return by Andrew White, his second of the day. They're going to start this drive at the 30 as Woodstown looking to get double digits on the board. I mean, for what it's worth, they're not going to be shut out. That's always a good sign, but we're closing into the last 4 minutes of this game. But as we stand, first of all, next week we have Wednesday, September the 24th. We have JUCO girls soccer between the Union Owls and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. And then on Thursday, we start out with WJFL United play on this Thursday night between the Bishop Eustace Crusaders and the Buna Chiefs. On Friday, we've got a battle for the Constitution Division between the Burlington Township Falcons and the Delran Bears. As that pass over the middle, intended for Fulmer, incomplete. Broken up by number 10 on the defensive side, that being Orlando Concepcion, the senior. On Saturday, we've got another Woodbury game. It is the Glassboro Thundering Herd and the the Glassboro Bulldogs and the Woodbury Thundering Herd.
That is definitely going to be.
I'm actually a little bit excited about that game.
That's
now.
going to be
now that Woodbury has put themselves on the map with this win. I mean, again, they had a very interesting start to the game. They were only up 14 at the half, putting up the kickoff return, kind of put this game away. Again, they were up 14-0 when this game entered the second half. Yep. They left the third quarter with a running clock. That is how quick Woodbury got this game away. This one is up. A little bit of tugging and pass interference. Yeah. That was sincere Reese Cook. I don't know if you saw the Woodbury defender. He put his hands up like, defense. I broke up the pass. Oh, wait. That's an all-timer. Defensive pass interference will be an automatic first down for Woodstown. Oh, my gosh.
That was really
I don't think he realized that he had the flag called on him.
Right behind him until he realized, until he looked.
Uh-oh.
Right behind him. That was funny to see. That was funny.
All right. Oh boy.
You know, for Woodbury, Dan,
it's forgivable because they're up by this much. Yeah. I mean, it'll be 1st and 10. They're at right now at the 45. Hurts drops back right side. Oh, they almost got called for it again. Double coverage that time, broken up. The intended receiver, Bryson Rooney. That was broken up, I believe, on the far side of the field by. I think that's number 5. I believe that would be Samir Pettit. Came up with that one. So an incompletion makes it 2nd and 10. 2 minutes to play. Woodstown will fall to 1-3 on the season. So both of these teams will go to 1-3 going home today.
Woodstown, with their first win of the season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woodstown home versus Pennsgrove on Friday the 26th, and then away versus Pleasantville. Then it's got to be nice to be a Woodstown fan because they're going to have 3 straight home games to close out the regular season stretch. Haddon Heights on October the 9th, Salem on October the 17th, and then a big game versus Glassboro on the 24th. Big hit that time.
That's Johnson getting
Hurts
home.
Gets tackled after the whistle as a huge tackle and a big sack that time by Omar Johnson. So, again, that'll bring us into our last couple plays of the night. Talked about Woodbury. They lost versus Brick Township, Haddonfield, and Salem. 3 straight road games, then 3 straight home games. Woodstown today, Glassboro next week, and then Gateway on Saturday the 4th. Then they've got 2 more road games, Willingboro on October 10th, Pennsgrove on October the 18th, and then Shalleck on Saturday the 25th to close out the season. I'm excited for that Shalleck game as well because that's going to be our last regular season game. The night before will be October 24th, our fan vote game over 12. I think it's 12 games are going to be on the docket this year for fans to vote on. Last year, Pittman Gateway won the fan vote. It was a blowout win for Pittman, but it was still a fun game nonetheless for us to be at. Rush to the right side. And with 25 seconds left, I would imagine Woodstown's going to let this one up as Woodbury will improve to 1-3. They failed to get a win in their long week 3-week road trip, but instead they'll travel back home and they confide in their home environment with a 42-6 huge statement win over the Woodstown Wolverines. Woodstown had to play with a chip on their shoulder after one of their linemen went down with, again, a very devastating injury, but Woodstown got a score, didn't get anything after that, and a massive win for Woodbury as they pick up their first of the year. It was a big comeback after only scoring 8 points in the last 2 weeks. They were shut out 41-0 versus Haddonfield and then 31-8 versus Salem. They come back home, and versus, again, Woodbury was 22nd in South Jersey Group 1 UPR. They now beat the number 12 seed, Woodstown. What a big win for them.
Yeah, you can only imagine, Dan, this, Woodstown being the 12th seed in South Jersey Group 1 with only one win, you can only imagine where this puts Woodbury. And, just like we said, this was a great game, a great showing by Woodbury all the way. And this even leads us to be more excited for next week, next Saturday. Woodbury, Glassboro. I believe that is also in Woodbury. That'll be here in the Woodbury Bowl.
Correct.
It's just like it was a beautiful game for Woodbury. I mean, you come into this game 0-3. You got a state championship. You got a state champion next week that you have to prepare for.
Timmy Breaker.
And you've already lost your first 3 games. And let's talk about this Woodstown team who knows what it's like to be top 4, top 3, sometimes even top 2 when it comes to South Jersey Group 1 football. Making multiple sectional championships. Winning sectional championships. This Woodstown team it's not an easy team to just roll over.
No. This was not easy at all. And again, it was 14-0 at the start of the second half. And then by the time we got to the third quarter, by the time we got to the end of the third quarter, the running clock had started. So that was how important this win was for Woodbury. They took advantage of Woodstown's mistakes. And also, Woodbury made their own handful of mistakes. Yes. I didn't know how close this game was going to be just because of how Woodbury had very poor ball handling in the first half. They had a lot of fumbles. They had a lot of bad snaps. And then every time they just seemed to take advantage of it. I couldn't believe it from what I saw tonight. And Woodbury, though, they overcame the adversity. Woodstown, obviously, they're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I think they'll be fine next week versus Pennsgrove, but this is going to be a week of recovery for Woodstown. Hopefully they'll be able to get everything straightened out going into next weekend, next Saturday, or next Friday night versus Pennsgrove. But, man, I mean, I can't give the player of the game to anybody else other than Dale Thomas.
Absolutely.
4 touchdowns. Haven't seen much like that in a while, including a 71-yard rush to the house. There were a lot of big plays for big gains. We saw the kickoff return to open up the third quarter. We saw an 85-yard kick return. We saw a 71-yard rush. Woodstown's only score was a 67-yard pass over the middle on the slant route. It wasn't easy to get big plays, but when they happened in droves, and it was a fantastic night for both sides passing-wise. But I'll tell you this, even though Woodstown lost today, I have a lot of belief in Frank Hurst. He's a freshman quarterback, 6'4". Can you imagine how much taller he could get in the next 4 years? He could be done. He could grow 5 inches like exactly. Anthony Davis. He could grow 5 inches in the offseason. We don't know what's going to happen. But I'll tell you this, that Frank Hurst is going to be a name that Woodstown fans and Salem County fans are going to watch for a long time, because even in the loss, I saw strides in development even during the game. He was overshooting his receivers a lot, but I think that is something that can easily be honed in. And with enough practice, with enough reps, the only way to get better is by being on the field and being that. You can practice, you can train, you can have your strength and conditioning, but that will only go so far. You need those reps on the field, and Frank Hurst is going to be a quarterback that we're going to need to watch for a long time. And also, I really liked how Woodbury had their passing game today. Even with Tim Holmes transferring out, there's a different kind of vibe in the locker room when your starting quarterback transfers out as opposing to just having graduated. Yeah. Because there's a little bit of that the iffy tension that goes along with it. And when we talk about what it means to start over with a new quarterback, especially when your quarterback transfers to a school in the Colonial Conference right down the road at West Deptford. It's not like he transferred to some prep school or, some Catholic school in PA or whatever. He transferred to the hometown rival right down the road. So it definitely it puts an impact on this Woodbury locker room. But Anthony Reagan and their crew, again, assistant coaches Martin Johnson, Corey Harvey, Troy Shorts, Jamie Eccles, and then Tyler Cobb, they were not fazed by this. We saw the passion in their body language on the sideline, and Woodbury, again, only up 14 at the half, somehow came around and scored a whole multitude of points in the third quarter to put this game away.
Yeah, and you basically hit it on the head. I mean, quarterback freshman for Woodstown, 6'4", 215, Frank Hurst. Like you said, the Salem County, the Woodstown area, you will have a lot to rave about when it comes to Frank Hurst. I mean, he was overshooting his receivers, may have not had the best connection in this game. Woodbury, has a beautiful defensive back core, right. Safeties and cornerbacks when it comes to being athletic and using their speed to close out on receivers. But for Hurst and for the Woodstown program, when it comes to that passing game, if they want to get into that passing game, they're a run-heavy team. But when they get into that passing game with Hurst, if that's your ceiling, overshooting your receivers, your receivers are only going to get better. That you're only going to get better.
Yeah, there's a lot to like, and I think when they play Penns Grove next week, we're going to see a little bit more of that shine for Frank Hurst. And if we see Woodstown later in the season in a flex game or whatever, it's going to be really interesting. Or even if we see them next year, we'll go back to this tape and say, how has Frank Hurst developed? How has he improved on his weaknesses? Because he's already got a lot of strengths. Being 6'4", 215 as a freshman is a strength, and it's only going to get better. I'm very excited for what Frank Trotz has to offer. But that'll be all for us tonight, wrapping up Week 3 here on DWB. A great weekend overall. Woodbury picks up their first win of the season. They improved to 1-3. Woodstown falls to 1-3 with a home game versus Penns Grove. Obviously, we'll be back here for, first of all 4 Woodbury home games this year. We've got Glassboro next weekend, Gateway on the weekend after that on the 3rd, and then all the way at the end of the regular season, Shalleck on October the 25th. That'll be all for us from our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Russo. My producer and color commentator, Damian Waiters. From right down the road, I'm Dan Wilkins. Woodbury wins this one in dominant fashion in their home opener, 42-6. Have a good one, folks.